Two of the largest and most well-established Roblox developers on the platform are currently running a dox and death threat campaign against me. Here's why. 4 days ago I premiered a video titled Operation Fallen Fur. In this video I gained insider access to a Discord filled with Roblox developers making millions off of Roblox's UGC program, a highly elusive developer program. Within this community titled Der Rote Circus, a German translation of the Red Circus, resided two millionaire UGC creators, John Drinken and WhoToTrus, both of which are exceptionally popular and well-liked in the community. This video recounted them giving away insider knowledge about the Roblox developer community, and in the case of WhoToTrus, discussing a plethora of NSFW topics with minors. It's no secret that WhoToTrus has crossed the line with children multiple times. 3 years ago, 19-year-old WhoToTrus had an ongoing relationship with a 15-year-old where they played Truth or Dare, had their fans make romantic fan cams of them together, and even went on to let Trus publicly question a separate 17-year-old's pubic hair shaving preferences. Trus has established that he has quite the fixation, perhaps even a fetish, for shaving, thus projecting it onto this minor. He had interactions like this with multiple minors in public, but no one could have predicted what would be found in private. Following the fallout from these events, Trus took a hiatus from Twitter altogether, only posting when he donated to charity or attended RDC, a conference that is meant to help Roblox developers network. He managed to avoid controversy or any accountability for his past actions due to the fact that he had the 15-year-old come out with an apology, citing Romeo and Juliet laws, which for obvious reasons does not apply in their case, and essentially saying that since the kid started it, it's not really Trus's fault. It was all a big joke that everyone was in on, and this managed to somehow keep Trus's reputation afloat with both his fans and the major developers that he associated with. One such developer is Evanbear1, former GameFam Studios social media manager, prolific enjoyer of Roblox and womanizer.
Or we can sit on my bed, if you want to do that.
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Winning twins. You're a lot shorter than I thought.
I'm really not.
Who attended RDC with WhoToTrus and Rocky28447. At RDC, they capitalized on their friendship, networked, made memories, and solidified their connections with one another. Upon posting selfies with WhoToTrus at RDC on Twitter, I politely informed Evan that Trus had a fixation on children and he should probably avoid Trus. He of course ignored me and pretended to not see any evidence despite it still being up on Twitter. Little did I know, I'd crossed into the realm of one of the most protected spaces on the internet. Many popular Roblox developers cherish the few relationships or connections that they can maintain, and will fight at all costs to protect them, even if this means outright lying to the fans that got them where they are, and putting children in danger by exposing them to their friends who obviously have expressed sexual interest in them. Back to the Red Circus Discord. Firstly, I would like to be in band. I really enjoyed your community, especially how when I joined with a furry PFP, and they/them 15 in my bio, I was granted instant NSFW access with some of Roblox's most well-loved and unproblematic developers and influencers. In this channel, I was exposed to quite the collection of things I think no 15-year-old should ever see, let alone fucking anyone. As a brief recap, in this Discord, WhoToTrus shared content depicting bestiality, discussed the purchase and use of sex toys, public sex, laughed at recounting stories of homeless people getting laser pointed in the face, popped Valium before talking to school children about Roblox, discussed his sexual feelings towards Pokemon, shared his NSFW custom screensaver, wearing furry porn apparel in public, and discussing planned orgies at RDC. All of these things were discussed with kids and adults alike, with no distinction being drawn between the two. This video was released and watched by Evanbear1, who proceeded to claim at first that he never saw it, then that it was fake, then that the evidence had all been debunked, and finally that it simply wasn't that bad. For someone that's supposedly truthful, it's crazy how his story changes mere hours apart. When people began questioning why Evan was defending this dude and constantly changing his story, he simply went private and embarked on one of the most deadly blocking sprees in Twitter history, the record being held by Ben Simon and Furries. My goal throughout this entire process was to inform the general public about what these people are doing, and to what lengths they will go to protect one another. On February 21st, after dealing with Evanbear1's GameFam minions unironically dismissing this video as proof and claiming all of the evidence, including his public tweets, was fake for clout, I met a certain Rocky28447, a close friend of Evanbear1, who was quite upset at me bringing up how his BFF was willing to cover for pedophiles. Rocky and Evan streamed together. They met at RDC, they are close friends, and communicate constantly about stuff like this, and I have a strong suspicion that behind his block's private account, Evan was orchestrating this. Now let me be clear. Had Evan simply said he didn't care, didn't want to know, or even ignored these claims altogether, I would have been fine. The reason I brought him up in the first place was because he not only did these first three things, but actively began lying to protect WhoToTrus's name. He called these claims fake and dangerous, all the while creating multiple conflicting narratives about how all the proof was fake, out of context, debunked, not so bad, or simply never happened to begin with. Rocky28447, eating up this narrative wholesale, decided to spam my Twitter replies in an attempt to shut me down. At first, it was innocent enough, just him hurling insults at me and expecting me to get upset. When that didn't work, he began referring to me as tough guy, and inquiring if I would mind if my real name was shared to the public, because intimidation tactics always work. At this point, I'm wondering why these people are willing to sink this low just to clear Evan's name. A few minutes into some lively discussion with me dropping dozens of screenshots of WhoToTrus's antics in the replies, with Rocky clapping back with generic ad hominem insults, Rocky hits the big red button. He posts what he thinks is my full name to Twitter. Then a suspicious burner account, which may or may not be him, considering the timing, hops onto Twitter, posts his full name, which caused another suspicious alt account a few minutes later to begin spamming my replies with the address that he believed myself, my wife, and my children lived at on his main account. He posted this on both his main account and the alt that he may have created, which is why I think it was probably this guy. He went on to juggle the notion on his main of me being stolen valor as he began the process of filing a FOIA request. This is a request to the federal government to essentially find out everything about my service and who I am. Why would he want this? Your guess is as good as mine. It seems as though he's willing to stop at no length to exonerate his close buddy Evan in this Roblox feud, not realizing that what he's doing is blatantly illegal, even if the alts did not belong to him. All he did was post the same things he was saying on his main page, but on another account that didn't go private like he did. Thankfully, we got receipts. However, we are now at a point where the close friend and associate of Evanbear1 and a huge Roblox developer himself are spamming what they think is my personal information on the internet in the hopes of shutting me down. Whether they escalate to trying to impact my spouse and children or not is up in the air. I'm making this video to tell you all, this is what they do. This is why nobody speaks up. They are more than willing to do these things to shut down any opposition and have likely done this to others in the past. Many people, extremely well-known community figures actually, have expressed this to me anonymously for obvious reasons. The fact that he did this on his main account with all these developer connections as they all sit by and watch is saddening to say the least. I hold the conviction that people who try to endanger others in real life for pointing out their association with pedophilia should not be on this platform. The truth is simple. WhoToTrus has been emboldened by the fact that he knows this clique of developers has his back through thick and thin. Whether this is because they all have dirt on each other or they unironically want to maintain their network. Even if it is a network of creeps, the end state is the same. You now have an exclusive clique of Roblox developers essentially enabling and protecting this man who sexualizes children at all costs. This is bad. I want to clarify, this is not an attack on all Roblox developers, not on all furries, and definitely not on all socially inept people on the internet who attempt harassing those who disagree with them off of it. It's an attack on the people who groom children and those who enable their friends to do so. If you want to make a difference, report them. Share this information. Let nobody forget that the best buddy of Evanbear1 is now spamming what he thinks is my personal information on his main account in an attempt to intimidate me into silence. If this is the hill they want to die on, then so be it. I'm not going to be there for the funeral. PSA, if you didn't get the point already, doxing is fucking wrong. It is bad. Don't do it, ever. Submit identifiable information to the authorities if you think that someone has done something illegal. Do not try to intimidate or harass them off the internet. This is not the way. What you are doing is a literal crime.